Hey guys, today in our Fit or What kitchen, I'm going to share with you my guilt-free cookie recipe. I finally found a way to balance eating healthy with tasting good. So let me go through some of the ingredients with you. We start with coconut oil. This is the fat of choice I'm using to grease the pan. Coconut oil is a fat, yes, but it's a healthy fat. You don't want to use too much. Less than a teaspoon will grease a pan nicely. But what's good about coconut oil is that it is healthy in the sense that it helps to burn and clear fat out of your system, and it also is an anti-inflammatory. It protects you against inflammation, which we know inflammation is a precursor to many diseases. So we use coconut oil. We also use shredded organic coconut. That's a way to give sweetness to the cookie, and it has the same health properties as the coconut oil. And we also use cinnamon. Cinnamon is another way to offer sweetness. Since we're not using sugar, try to come up with some ways to make the cookie have some taste without, tasting like cardboard. So the cinnamon is a natural sweetener, and cinnamon also has health properties to help regulate your blood sugar. But cinnamon can be irritating if you eat too much of it, so you have to be careful, and you don't have to worry in these cookies, it's not too much of it. But too much can irritate your digestive system. We also use natural chunky peanut butter, and this is our source of protein as well as giving the flavor a big enhancement. So in this, when you're looking for peanut butter, make sure you look for the natural brands that have only peanuts and salt. You don't want the hydrogenated oils or corn syrups or anything else. We also use oats, and our oats are rolled oats that are purely organic. And oats are a great way to get fiber into the body, and fiber is very good to help protect against colon cancer, as well as help to keep your heart healthy. So very, very healthy. Peanut butter, as I said earlier, is a great source of protein. And when we're building a cookie or any kind of meal, we want to make sure we have a balance of protein, healthy carbohydrates, and fat. And this recipe does all that. Our healthy fats with the coconut, our carbohydrates with bananas. That's another thing that we use for sweetness. We add about 2 bananas to this recipe mashed up. We have carbohydrates from the oats, and we're getting our protein from the peanut butter. So we also add some granola, and we have some organic. This is just a honey almond granola, but you can use anything that you like. That also gives it some texture, so it gives a little bit of crunch, and there's a little bit of natural sweetness in there as well. And finally, my favorite part is the cocoa, the chocolate. Yes, I love chocolate, but there is healthy ways to eat chocolate. And what I use in this recipe is all dark. You want to make sure your chocolate is at least 70% dark chocolate, and then you're getting the health benefits. The cocoa bean is very healthy. It has antioxidants that help protect against disease. Antioxidants fight free radicals, and free radicals are, precursors to a lot of diseases such as cancer. So what I'm using are cocoa nibs, and these are actual cocoa beans that are just ground up, nothing in them. They're pure, and they are powerful. They're powerful antioxidant, and they're powerful in flavor. So you wouldn't want to eat these alone, believe me. It'd be eating like a Starbucks coffee bean right out of the bag. So they do add some flavor, and with the combination of the other ingredients, it really provides a nice sweet taste. And just for icing on the cake, so to speak, I add some morsels, dark chocolate morsels, just a handful. Each cookie maybe has 3 or 4 or 5 morsels. So yes, there's a teeny bit of sugar in that, but I mean really teeny, it's nominal. So let's look at how we put all this together now that we know how healthy everything is. In this bowl, I have mashed up 2 bananas, and use ripe bananas, because again, we're not using sugar, so we want this to be a little bit sweet from healthy sources. So we're getting that from our bananas. Bananas are ripe. They're 2 large bananas. If you like more of a moister cookie, you can add more bananas. To that, so I'm adding all the wet ingredients first. I have here about 4 tablespoons of peanut butter. Now, my tablespoons are pretty heaping, so judge how you like, as far as if you don't want too much peanut butter, you can cut it back a bit, but I put a good healthy 4 heaping tablespoons of peanut butter. So I'm just going to give that a quick little stir. And that's the great thing about this recipe. You don't need a blender or a food processor. It's really, really quick to make. Now I'm just going to start building it with all the dry ingredients. So I'm going to add about a cup of oats. Let's get all that in there. There we go. Got a nice cup of oats. To that, I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of granola. And with that, just a little mix. Get those dry ingredients blended into the peanut butter and to the bananas. So to the peanut butter and banana, I've added the oats and the granola. And now I'm going to sprinkle about a tablespoon of this delicious cinnamon to give it some sweetness and also help regulate blood sugar. And then I'm going to add about a good tablespoon of coconut again. Add sweetness as well as the health properties. And about a tablespoon of cocoa nibs. So it's pretty easy. And then a liberal handful of my delicious, love these chocolate morsels. Mix all that up, and that's it, guys. That is the recipe, and it's very simple, very quick to make. And what I do is normally take about a good heaping tablespoon similar to this and just place it on the tray. These are free-form cookies. They don't have to look pretty. They just have to taste good. So you want to just flatten them out a little bit. And that's it. And you just keep adding as much as you want onto your tray. This is a small tray. I'll probably get about 6 cookies on here. But depending on the size that you want, you can do 6 to 8 cookies. And they're pretty much, if you use a 6 to 8 cookies as your guide, you're getting somewhere between like 350 and 400 calories per cookie. So it's substantial. These are like meals. If you wanted to have it just as a little snack, you can have half of one, but they're great to take on the go. You make them ahead of time, and then you can bring them with you, you know, grab a cup of coffee and take your cookie, and out you go, and you have your meal on your way to work. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven, and I'll be back in a few minutes and show you what they look like when they're all done. One thing to remember when you're cooking these, you want to use a preheated oven at about 350 degrees, and you want to make sure that you only set that timer for 10 minutes because you do not want to overcook these. All right, we'll be back in a few. Hey guys, we're back and we have cookies. Oh, they smell so good. I can't wait to dig in. So just to recap, we've cooked these in a 350 degree oven for about 10 minutes. Remember to set your timer, and also remember that ovens may vary. So you may have to play around with it a little bit, depending on how well done you like your cookies. Some like it crispier, some like it less well done. But this seems to work for our tastes. We like the 10 minutes at 350 degrees. And when you take it out of the oven, put the pan on a cooling rack, because that will help to cool the cookies down. And also it will help so that, you know, they don't further cook in that pan. Serve them warm. They're delicious right out of the oven. Take them on the go with you. And if you can't have them that day, you can store them. These store well for about 4 or 5 days. I would suggest letting them cool completely before you store them to make sure that no moisture builds up in the container you're storing them in. You can store them in a dish with plastic wrap or a sealed plastic container or whatever you have, but they store pretty well. And either I've tried different things and they're fine. And then once after a couple of days, you can heat them up in the oven, you can reheat them in the microwave or eat them as is. So that's my guilt-free cookie. Truly, you'll eat these. And you know, if you're really a person that loves sugar, it'll take a while to adjust to getting sugar out of your diet, but it's healthy for you. So you really want to avoid sugar as much as possible because it really does wreak havoc on our bodies. So I hope you enjoy this recipe and check back for more.